back. Late night Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and yes, we've got the Santa hat on. For the first time, we're within 9 days of Christmas, so I guess we're within the 12 days of Christmas, so I guess it's worthy of that. Let me flip this on this other side. There we go. And so it'll look like it's on the right side, looking at the camera, even though it's on the left. You know, we could do that, we could do this, we could do this. But anyway, we've got to make things interesting to keep you awake out there. It's good to see everybody back with us tonight. Did you enjoy Eric Karen earlier? I know you did. We won't keep you very long here tonight. And we are grateful to see everybody. Good to see Mary Sullivan. Carol Smith's in the house. And Susan Pruski is in the house and others. And we've got our Facebook audience. I want to say this to our ex-friends. We had a really good crowd. We had a really good crowd earlier tonight. Had over 115 people watch us live on X tonight, which brought our live audience almost to 300, which was really good. I thought for a show on a Tuesday night, we're getting there. Please be sure to subscribe to our channels, both the Faith and the News side, if you haven't. And we would love to have you do that. It'll help us. It'll help the algorithm and so forth. We are going to get right at it tonight, folks. We've got a lot of news stories to talk about. I want to go over here to our news wire, and this is the Gateway Pundit tonight, and there's several stories that they are following, and we'll just start right here on the front page. This is the suspect in the Brown University shooting, and they've got a person of interest. 2 people were killed and 9 critically wounded after this gunman opened fire Saturday afternoon at this university. The footage shows a male with a pudgy belly walking past police just minutes after the shooting that left 2 people dead. Occurred around 4 o'clock. Here's the video right here. Hang on just for a second. Let me get rid of the ads here. Sorry about that.
Donald Trump Jr.
One more here.
I need to tell you about my friends over at
I don't know why Gateway Pundit does this. Just play the video. There we go. There is the video right there, and they've got the man on camera. Looks like leaving the scene. It's a little blurry there. They released this enhanced video of this person of interest, and here he is right there. This is him again.
Stop before you take another step.
I don't know why they do this. Hang on just a second.
Knee pain, or that annoying lower back.
They killed
Hang
her
on.
brother. They shot her dog.
I think we only got about a second or two of this. All right, right there.
Iran promises death to America. They've built sleeper terror cells in the U.S. They support terror groups out to destroy Israel, including Hamas, whose founding charter calls for Islam to dominate the world.
The young people have been educated to believe that the most sacred thing they do is stab a Christian in the heart.
The only democracy in the Middle East that supports religious freedom is Israel.
Yes, that is true, and that's an ad, actually. Sorry about that. Hang on just a second. Let me get rid of Kevin there, and I was trying to get that. But anyway, we'll come back. We're going to come back to there's your persons of interest. Now, that's important for this reason. And I'm going to come over here to our stage, and Eric was on earlier tonight. Now, I want you to keep in mind that video we just showed you. And we've got some pictures of this guy that we've got his name, actually, if you'll give me a minute. Let me go to our pictures. These things got downloaded here, I think. And I need to get my glasses on. Here he is right here. I knew we had it. This is the guy right here that people are beginning to believe was the same guy you saw in that video. Brown University, Rhode Island shooting suspect has been identified as Mustafa Karbag. Now, this is a late night, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning show. I am just a South Georgia boy. I do not believe that this is a white guy with a name like Mustafa Karbag. I'm just saying. How much money do we want to put down on the table tonight to identify his religion. I don't think that's going to be a stretch. You know, me and Eric talked today after the interview. He called me back this afternoon. It was around dinner time, and we were talking about the fact that Eric has met a lot of Muslims, and you know, he said not all of them are terrorists. But I said, yeah, but the thing about it, though, Eric, all terrorists are Muslims, and all Muslims may not be terrorists, but it just seems like that is the religion that people hail from when they do stuff like this. And he is a radical Islamic pro-jihad student at Brown. And by the way, his X account since Saturday has suddenly disappeared. You cannot find his X account. He's deleted it, or somebody's deleted it. And of course, Gene's got a few executive words here and there, and I'm not going to read those, but he says, this is why the Democrat authorities in Providence and mainstream media have been covering up this guy's identity. It's not a very good look. Karbach reportedly has now fled the university and is missing, and they cannot find him right now. And if it is him, then that would make sense. Now, let me make it clear about our show. We cannot confirm this. This is just he is a person of suspicion, a person of interest. I'm certain the FBI is doing everything they can to make sure that if this is him, they're going to bring him to justice. And we'll just go out on a limb tonight and say, as of now, this is the most likely suspect we have that could have done this and may have possibly done this. Once we get it confirmed by Thursday night, I'm sure it will be, hopefully by Thursday, we will come back and say, this is your guy. But all indications are leading to it is this gentleman here. And very sad situation. I want to put up a few pictures of, let me see here. I got to go to my downloads here. Here is Elisa Cook, the young lady that was slaughtered in that, and it was very sad. Here's another picture of him, by the way, right here. And we're going to talk about, this is him, this is his page, and I need to keep my glasses on because I can't see what I'm doing. This is the Department of Social, Cultural Anthropology and International Land and Public Affairs. This was a thing that was posted back in March of this year. This is the same guy, and they had some folks that basically downloaded his page, and if you look at his bio right here, he is a 27-year-old first-year student considering concentrating in international and public affairs with a focus on the Middle East. And if you look down here at the very bottom, let me get my whiteboard out here. I want to just point this out right here. Palestinians studies. They are highly moved by questions of indigeneity, justice, and inclusion, and particularly interested in the intersection of queer studies with Palestinian studies. And Mustafa is currently the cultural programming coordinator for the Global Brown Center and the e-board of the Arab Society. So that sort of confirms that he would be pro-jihad, pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, and that is why he is a prime suspect. He's gone missing, and that is what we know as of tonight. And I'm trying to find the young lady's picture because I want to, and we're going to talk about Australia tonight too. Bridget Gabrielle had a lot to say about that, and goodness gracious, I just had her picture, but I will find it here in a minute. And let's see here. Give me 1 minute here. Let me see if I can just download it again from my phone. We had it here. Candace Owens has been running her mouth tonight. We're going to talk about that with you, and we're going to talk about some other things. But here is, well, I'll tell you what. I will find it by Thursday. I had a picture of her, and we were going to pay respects to her, and maybe it was on our profile, and we just didn't download it from there. But this young lady sadly lost her life, and in this, here she is. I'll just do this. I'm just tired of looking for it. But this is Ella Cook, not Elise Cook, but Ella Cook, and right here. and our prayers for this family tonight. She is one of the 2 victims that evidently this individual shot. She was a Christian who was a leader of the only conservative group on campus, and we're not sure if she was targeted herself. We do know that there was another young man that was an Indian. He was in physics, chemistry, things like that. He died in this, and then 9 people were injured, and a lot of those were injured outside a Jewish professor's office, the Hall of Jewish Studies. So that's what we know tonight on this Brown situation, the one that we talked with Eric Heron about. Eric was the head of the Department of Homeland Security up there, the head agent there back in his day. Here is sort of the reason why Brown University, this doesn't shock me that they've had something like this. This is one of their professors, and they've got a ton, just like this lady right here. This is 6 days after the October the 7th massacre. Associate Professor Nina Tannenwald supported a jihadist student who preached glory to our martyrs. She told the media that anyone who didn't like it should stop stirring up trouble. In other words, she pretty much put the onus on October the 7th on Israel, not the jihadists. By the way, this is the governor or the mayor's brother, or not mayor's brother, my bad. This is his husband of the mayor of Providence, Rhode Island. Guess we know why they won't release what the shooter yelled when he entered the classroom and assassinated Ellie Cook. And free Palestine will free us all. That's the boyfriend of the mayor. And so, again, I'm just a South Georgia boy. You put 2 and 2 together, I'll let you draw your own conclusions about that tonight. And we'll talk about this at the end of the show. You can follow us on the Telegram at the, thank you, Cleo. Good to see Cleo's in the house tonight. Boy, put some fire in that house for her. She did a great job last night. Here is another developing story, and this is a young man. He is a MIT professor. He is young. If you look at him, Laura Loomer posted this earlier tonight. Nuclear science physics Nuno Lorerio was just shot and killed at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts on Monday evening. He's reportedly Jewish and pro-Israel. And that story is also on our newswire, because if you look at the Gateway Pundit, I'll go back up here and let me get him. That's the story right here out of the Gateway Pundit. He's 47 years old, a nuclear science physician or professor. He was transported to a Boston hospital. He died Tuesday morning. They heard 3 loud bangs Monday night. The neighbors did. The neighbor said, I thought at first it was somebody in an apartment kicking in a door or something, so I called the neighbors, and they said, no, it was gunshots, and it was. And this young man lost his life. He was appointed director of the Science and Fusion Center. He was one of the MIT's largest labs. And he was very strong Israel. He was very strong pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, and he was Jewish evidently himself. So another targeted assassination. You can see other stories here, and sorry for all these ads, folks. Basically, a lot of this hypocrisy. You can see that this lady right here, Jennifer Welch, who is the most toxic and the most vile commentator on the left as it relates to Israel. Now she's worried about the toxicity and division in American politics. You got to laugh when you see this stuff. And this is her on a podcast today.
We know that a lot of our adversaries, our country's adversaries, want that type of social friction within the American public, and that the current sitting president campaigned on eliminating the enemy from within. And
she is the enemy from within.
Not a message of unification.
They don't know what that means.
That, that trickles down, and then you have these propaganda arms that instead of focusing on ways that we can advance and progress as a country,
like the Jennifer Welch podcast,
they're attacking other Americans.
Like the Jennifer Welch, including Katie Couric right there. Katie needs to get better guests.
Ground, right?
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, it's really gotten
this is
bad.
Really a new
toxic.
Yeah, it's.
Don't you just love it when liberals talk about the toxic atmosphere? And that's what brings me to our another discussion tonight. I didn't want to touch the Rob Reiner thing on the first show as much, but I'm going to deal with it tonight. As many of you know, Rob Reiner, the actor, and he was a director. He did act in a few movies, I think. But he mainly was known for his directing skills. He was the star in All in the Family. He played Archie Bunker's son-in-law, who was affectionately referred to as Meathead. And he was very liberal in that show, and the actor itself has been very liberal. And he, of course, him and his wife were killed by their son. And I'm going to get your opinion about this later in your talking points, but I don't want to come across feeling, folks, that I'm happy about what happened. I'm not. It was a very tragic thing. I felt solemnness when I heard about it last night. There was a little bit of me that I knew what this man stood for. I heard the vile statements he's made for decades. It's not just been this stuff that he's been saying. It goes back 30 years. And he has said some of the most vile things about our country, about Christians, about Jews, about President Trump. He was this way about Bush Jr. He was this way about any conservative leader. He was very ugly to Rush Limbaugh during the time that Rush had some addiction problems. He was very ugly about Rush when he was going through cancer. He was ugly about Rush when he died. Had no sympathy whatsoever. So now he's dead, and President Trump went on a little Twitter journey yesterday, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that President Trump maybe could not have worded that a lot better, because he could have. It was a very biting text. It just was. And a lot of people took issue, and that some of that toxicity you heard the left loons talk about with Katie. This is what the left does. They stir up this hate. They stir up the toxicity. They make things toxic. And then when it's returned on their head, all of a sudden they get concerned that the right is, creating division in the country. It's very similar to what we're talking about in the morning Bible studies right now. And this is what happens when people bear false witness and say things that are false and lie. They just lie. And look, I've got nothing but sympathy for the Reiner family. Our prayers for the wife's family, his family. And, I watched James Woods last night, and he I think, said it, I think, as wisely as anybody could really put it. Him and Rob Reiner were on two completely opposite ends of the spectrum, politically and ideology. James Woods, a conservative. I don't know if I'd call him a Christian, but he is conservative. He loves the country. He sees things from a conservative standpoint. Rob Reiner was rabid liberal. And what James Woods said last night, he said that me and Rob had the same love for the country. We just saw things how to get to the best for America two different ways. And he said, I'm heartbroken that he's dead. I'm heartbroken that, this happened. But he said, we never agreed on anything during the time he was alive. He said, we had some healthy discussions, and we never saw eye to eye on things, but I respected him. He respected me. And I think that if I had to say anything about Rob Reiner, that's how we need to approach this. That while I don't agree with the thing the man said, and I think it was very vile, I do not rejoice in his death. And I do not take glee in this terrible, terrible accident. It wasn't an accident. It's homicide by his son, who was strung out on drugs and likely went to their house last night and in a rage cut both their throats. It was very brutal. The murder was very brutal. I will say this. I don't know if Rob Reiner had a last-minute encounter with Jesus. I don't know if he had a last-minute encounter with the Savior. But if he didn't, I will tell you this, that he's finding out real quick right now that Hillary Clinton wasn't God. And he's finding out that this nation whose founder is the same. We were founded in God. He's understanding that tonight. And I don't take glee in that either. There's no glee There is nothing but sadness when I think about it. It's sadness for his wife. Folks, it's sadness for anybody that goes off into eternity without God. There's nothing that we as Christians should be rejoicing about when it comes to that. It is sad. It is terribly evil what happened to him. And, you know, that's all I got to say. We're going to get your comments about that later. But President Trump's getting hammered about saying what he said. But I don't see the media putting anything out there about what Rob Reiner said about the country, and they're not going to do it. It's very similar to the situation in Brown. They're not going to tell you this guy was shouting Ali Akbar, and they're not going to tell you that he was rabidly pro-jihadist, rabidly pro-Palestinian. Evidently, he's transgender. I don't want to go down that road right now, but there's evidence that he's not even a man. He's a woman, man, he, she, whatever. I don't even know at this point. So that's how things are twisted and painted to the world. And all you're hearing about tonight is President Trump's comments about Rob Reiner's death. And we've got a more dangerous, very serious situation in our nation going on right now in this world. I want to play a video. I'm going to come back over to my stage here, and we're going to talk about that right there again. But I want to play this clip by Bridget Gabriel about the massacre in Australia over the weekend. We got some video about that too we want to talk about. Cleo did an outstanding job last night, didn't she? Giving us some insight to that. I was very proud to have my dear friend, and good to see her out there tonight. But this is Bridget Gabriel, about an 8-minute clip. She sums up what happened quite well, and I want you to listen carefully to what she has to say, because the warnings about Australia are for America and the world.
Hello, this is Brigitte Gabriel. For those watching the horrific mass murders that took place this weekend in Australia, targeting innocent Jews and still turning a blind eye, I have news for you. What starts with the Jews never ends with the Jews. There is a saying in Arabic, أولاً يأتي السبت وبعده الأحد. First comes Saturday, then comes Sunday. First, we kill the Jews, then we come for the Christians. It's time for the West to wake up. If you don't care about the Jews, then care about your future and your children. Look at Europe's Christmas markets. They are barricaded like war zones. Why? Because radical Muslims want to attack and slaughter Christians celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. They're not barricaded to stop Hindus from killing innocent people, not Buddhists, Jews, Baha'is, atheists, not radical Lutherans, Mormons, Baptists, Episcopalians, or Scientologists. No, they're barricaded to stop radical Muslims full of hate. Time to throw political correctness in the garbage. We have an Islamic radicalization problem in the West. Ignoring it won't make it go away. We are importing people who do not share our values but hate us with passion. This has nothing to do with Palestine. This is raw Islamic hatred against the infidels, Christians and Jews. And before you dare scream Islamophobia at me, listen to what Prophet Muhammad commanded his followers to do to the Jews, as written in Sahih Bukhari. Quote, "The hour will not begin until you fight the Jews, until a Jew will hide behind a rock or a tree, and the rock or tree will say, 'O Muslim, O slave of Allah, here's a Jew behind me, come and kill him.' لا تقوم الساعة حتى يقاتل المسلمون اليهود فيقتلهم المسلمون حتى يختبئ اليهودي من وراء الحجر والشجر فيقول الحجر أو الشجر يا مسلم يا عبد الله هذا يهودي خلفي فتعال فاقتله." The Quran in chapter 9:5 commands, quote, "Fight and kill disbelievers wherever you find them. Take them captive, beleaguer them, and lie in wait and ambush them, using every stratagem of war," end quote. فَاقْتُلُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَيْثُ وَجَدْتُمُوهُمْ وَخُذُوهُمْ وَاحْصُرُوهُمْ وَاقْعُدُوا لَهُمْ كُلَّ مَرْصَدٍ. I can quote you chapter after chapter from the Quran. You see, I'm not some expert who studied Middle Eastern history in college. I'm fluent in classical Arabic, an eyewitness and a survivor of terror warning you. I don't need translations of the Quran. I read it in the language it was written. I infiltrate Islamic chat rooms, hearing them plot in Arabic, laughing at Western gullible idiots in Arabic. I walk into Middle Eastern grocery stores in New York, Virginia, LA, reading the hate-filled books hidden in the back, eavesdropping on conversations, watching the little TV in the corner tuned to Hezbollah channel spewing venom. I've been warning the West for 20 years. My first New York Times bestseller, Because They Hate, came out in 2006. Then They Must Be Stopped came out in 2008. Then Rise in 2018. Yes, a brave Muslim stopped one shooter in Australia and deserves hero status. But still, 15 people were slaughtered and 42 fighting for their lives. 10 to 20% of the world's Muslim population is radicalized. So spare me lectures on the peaceful majority. They are irrelevant. We must rise up, get engaged, and pressure elected officials for tough security, restrict immigration from high-risk Islamic countries, prosecute and expel criminals, bolster intelligence, whatever protects our families. I founded Act for America to fight this evil head on. Join us. Go to actforamerica.org right this second.
Thank you, Bridget. And she's pointing to her organization there, which I respect. But I wanted to get her to tell you that they're coming for the Sunday people too, neighbor, after they're done with the Saturday people. The Saturday people are the Jews. The Sunday people are the Christians and Americans. And it's not anything to sneeze at. And see, this is what Eric was trying to preach in our early show tonight, that we are so distracted about other things that we don't see this danger. And it's very tragic, very, very tragic. This is, we're going to play a video about one of the rabbis that got killed in Australia and what he had to say to Albanese tonight. But I want to read this from Casey Bob. This is an excellent post tonight from X, and I'll just read it, and I'll just read it from off of here. It says, if you aren't aware of what's going on right now, let me break it down for you. Jews worldwide are being hunted and killed. It's only day 3 of Hanukkah, and since day 3, we've already seen Jews murdered by a jihadi father-son duo in Australia that seriously wounded many people, including my friend, and he's talking about A.F. Straub. He is the gentleman we showed you last night that the right-wing crazies actually claimed that he was making it up, the blood, that he had blood painted on his face and was lying about being shot up by this terrorist, this duo, a father and son in Australia. And that's this guy's friend. He's thinking of you, brother. Students at Brown University were murdered in a class taught by Rachel Feidberg, a Jewish professor who leads the school's Judaic Studies program. Number 3, a Jewish professor of nuclear physics at MIT was murdered in his home today. 4, Orthodox Jews in New York were violently assaulted on the subway. While I'm on that subject, before I forget it, let me show you the 2 wonderful individuals, and I put that in quotations. Did we get that picture downloaded? Probably not. It's on my X account. Let me do this real quick. I'll just show you these 2 wonderful individuals, and I again put that in quotations. We're going to get to Candace in just a second. She had a meeting today with Erica Kirk and did exactly what I expected Candace to do. But these are the 2 individuals right here that they went on a rampage. And let me refresh our page here. And right here, these are the 2 that attacked the Jews on the subway. They've not been identified yet. The police are looking for them, but they assaulted Jews that were Orthodox. They had the kippah, and some of them had the locks on their hair, and they went after them and attacked them violently. Number 5, violent Palestinian protesters have disrupted a peaceful Hanukkah celebration in Amsterdam. Dozens were arrested after police had to physically surround families celebrating the holiday to protect them. A Jewish family in California had their home hit by gunfire because they had Hanukkah decorations up. One of the criminals shouted among the N-word and a B word and some profanity, F words, "Free Palestine." An Islamic terrorist attack has been foiled in Poland tonight at Christmas market. An Islamic terrorist attack has been foiled in Germany at a Christmas market. A Palestinian attack was foiled in California, here in this country. France has canceled its New Year's Eve celebrations because of the terrorist threat level. Canada's Integrated Terrorism Assessment Center has said that a terrorist attack in Canada is now a realistic possibility. And Casey says, I've been studying terrorism for 20 years and I've never seen things this bad. The West is under attack, full stop. The question now is, what are we going to do about it? And Casey, I tell you what Christians are going to do about it. We're going to pray about it. We're going to pray against this stuff, and we're going to educate people about the right and so forth. This is is this the video? This is the tweet, and then I'm going to play the video. But Abraham Barkowitz posted this, and I think this is the lady that is reporting it. She's an Australian reporter. But in his final minutes, Rabbi Eli Schlanger raised his hands, walked toward the gunman. This is down in Australia over the weekend. As he reloaded, pleaded with him to stop shooting. He was murdered moments later. His wife, Cynthia, was shot in the back, and their 2-month-old baby, Shimney, remains in critical condition. This is the video of that. I'm going to play this for you right here, and I'll let her do the explaining. Roll tape.
Beloved Rabbi Eli Schlanger, in this terror attack, has shaken the local community. But what no one knows until now is that his wife, Chaya, was also injured with a bullet wound to her back. And their newborn baby, barely 2 months old, suffered shrapnel wounds, and he's still in hospital. Witnesses have told me that Eli, who felt responsible for all of those present because it was his event, held his hands up in a sign of surrender like this, and he walked towards the gunman as the gunman reloaded, and the rabbi pleaded with him to stop. Instead, he was gunned down and killed. Now, outside the hospital where little baby Shimshi is being treated, his baby, 2 months old.
She is in critical condition tonight. This is a rabbi in Australia today. Thank you, Cleo, for sending me this. He had a few choice words for Albanese. For Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, who is living in a meth-induced state right now. Roll tape.
You're going to tell the Prime Minister of Israel how he should fight his war when you couldn't protect 1,000 people on Bondi Beach? You're going to tell him how to protect 8 million people in the land of Israel? And I want to turn to the media. You have to realize that there are consequences to what you write. And let me start by the following. Think about this. Take it 30 feet, to 30,000 feet above ground, like I just said. And you take it 30,000 feet above ground. Think of this. You have, on one hand, a liberal democracy. And the meaning of a liberal democracy is the fact that the systems that are put in place are important. It's an end in itself. And you have a far left justice system that controls a lot of what goes on in the country. And any step taken out of bounds, so to speak, they come down on the government and the army like a ton of bricks. It even caused, it was a partial cause for October 7th because they wouldn't allow the soldiers to deal with people who came to the border. All this time. You think they'd allow? Of course not. It has its own system of checks and balances, like Australia, like America, like all modern countries. Versus a culture who has as its goal the supremacy of Islam, and everything and anything is okay.
1 minute to go.
To reach that goal. Lying, killing, falsifying, allowing your own babies to die of hunger by hiding the formula sent. And when you hear them say something, you just take it and spew it out there? The results of that are the continued hatred against Jewish state, which becomes the hatred against the Jewish people. It's the way it is. It's the reality. That's the way it's translated. You can't separate. You can't take the Jewish state out of the Jewish people. It's in our prayers. It's in our hopes. It's Hanukkah. Where did this happen? In Jerusalem, on the Temple Mount. That's where this miracle took place. It's everything that the inspiration of the Jews for 2,000 years was this. So please, be careful. When you hear a story, look and search and ask. Because when you fix it after the fact on the 10th page and a little paragraph, oh, it wasn't the hospital. Oh, there wasn't a hunger. Oh, you're causing so much harm for some sensational story for a moment. And we felt it now.
And the Jewish community did in Australia. This is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I wanted to play this last night. We didn't have time. This is what he told Albanese 8 months ago. Roll the tape.
On August 17th, about 4 months ago.
4 months ago.
I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia.
Benjamin Netanyahu has placed some blame at your feet. What is your response to Netanyahu's comments yesterday?
This is a moment for national unity. On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours full fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets. Anti-Semitism is a cancer. It spreads when leaders stay silent. It retreats when leaders act. I call upon you to replace weakness with action, appeasement with resolve. Instead, Prime Minister, you replaced weakness with weakness and appeasement with more appeasement. Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread. And the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today."
And it was, and that's about an 8-minute video. I'm not going to play the whole video, but you get the gist of it. Benjamin Netanyahu was not happy with Anthony Albanese, and for good reason. Anti-Semitic attacks, folks, have surged in the U.S. We did mention this last night. from 2015 to 2024, we've had an 893% increase. Think about this. Just in the last 10 years of anti-Semitic attacks in America alone. That's not even the worldwide figure. It's very sad. Want to talk about something else. I know a lot of you heard today that Candace Owens had a meeting with Erica Kirk. And we thought we had that video downloaded. And there was a clip of her. And I want to, this may be one of those that I've got to get an extension. We may have to play this Thursday night. But I wanted to play what Candace is saying about this tonight and spinning it, and it's not really cool. This is about a 2-minute clip, and here is Candace Owens in her own words about that meeting today with Erica Kirk.
I will say I was immediately refreshed by the fact that one of the first things that Erica did was she owned the lies, or...
She did not. She did not.
Rather, I guess they would cage it as miscommunication.
Nope. Again, the liar is the one talking.
Or coming from various people at the company. Like, look, this is a company with 650 people that are employed. Everybody at this time is exceedingly emotional, and they are communicating, and no matter what somebody says on Twitter, they assume that this communication has come down from management, and that's not always the circumstance. But they owned right away, which felt great, that if you guys recall, Erica sat down with Glenn Beck. I actually missed this portion because I didn't get to watch the interview in its entirety, and we were pulling clips because a lot was coming out very quickly. But there was a portion that was going around that was viral, and it was Erica saying that she had Charlie's phone and that Charlie never texted anybody the night before saying that he thought that they were going to kill him.
Why does it ultimately matter? Why does it ultimately matter other than to try to prove some kind of crapped out, methed out, fentanyl-based, stupid conspiracy theory that Candace Owens is pushing to destroy TPUSA and to trash Trump, to trash Erica Kirk, to trash the movement, to trash Christians, to trash Jews, to trash Israel? Just add to the list. Roll tape.
That obviously reflected poorly on me, because I was the one who said that he did, in fact, text multiple people the night before. And then I went on Jimmy Dore on Friday, Jimmy Dore's show, and I clarified. I said Andrew Colvett told me specifically that he was one of the people that received this text message. So I got that first person. I didn't get that from a source. I got that directly from Andrew Colvett. And then somebody who had access to Dan Flood's communications said that Dan Flood similarly received a text message. They owned that right away and explained. Erica said that she has Charlie's phone. She's looking at his iMessages, and it turns out that he, like everybody else, communicates on Signal. He communicates on Telegram, and that those when she heard me say that, they then went and looked, and yes, that what I said was true. Andrew Colvett received a message the night before, and Dan Flood received a message the night before. Now, they asked me if I had actually like a concrete a copy of what Dan Flood got the night before, and I said no.
And she don't have a hard copy. They never do. They never do. This is all conjecture, folks. It's all conjecture. I can't even stomach the rest of this. I'm just going to play another video. I think this is another section of this. Let me play this. I think this is it.
Of course, I was locked in this meeting when people online were another round
the
of
Egyptian
debunking
plane.
The Egyptian planes. I want to be very clear. We discussed the Egyptian planes, and I have since worked on an incredible document about the Egyptian planes, which we are going to put up on our website, because I realized that when we shared that spreadsheet, people assumed that one of the columns, which was actually saying where the planes landed on that day, because it was plus or minus 3 days, was exactly where Erica had been on that day, and that was inaccurate. And so for clarity, I had been working on the last week on turning it into an interactive timeline that we can put up on our website, because I'm certain that these Egyptian planes are incredibly shady, and that they were in fact tracking Turning Point USA, Faith, broader events. Of course, Erica was at some of them, Charlie was at some of them, but it is the pattern here is undeniable. So let the naysayers and people make videos trying to, fifth round debunk these planes. I also want to say to you that I feel very confident that I know why these planes have caused such panic, and it is because there is overwhelming evidence that these planes regularly fly in and out of Israel.
When you start hearing stuff like overwhelming evidence, I've got proof, when they don't show you any proof, and she's making this out to be that she is the victim. This lady was, anytime, any place, but she's afraid to go to meet Erica in a plane, thinking that the Israelis are going to hijack the plane and use it to kill her. The Egyptians. I've got somebody sent a meme to me about this, and I don't think there's any better meme to explain what you just heard. I can't even explain it. I think it was Chris Tucker that had the infamous line that we use sometimes, Jenny Castellanova, on this show. I don't have them. I've got to find my applets again. This is a new computer thanks to the crash of Friday night or last week. But do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And I can't even understand the words that are coming out of this chick's mouth. But this is a summary of what you just heard, that an Egyptian plane just flew over my house, releasing Mossad pigeons in maroon T-shirts, just as I was eating French toast. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. This is the truth. I would rather hear a donkey bray at midnight than to listen to that crap. Now, I got a question for you. I'm going to say this about TPUSA. Look, I respect Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk needs to come out and make a public statement. Erica Kirk could end this crap tonight. She could end the Israeli conspiracy stuff. She could erase the French conspiracy stuff. She could erase all this conspiracy. She could tell the world just how Charlie felt about Candace, which I do not believe was good. I don't want to get in the middle of this. But what I'm trying to make a point of tonight is this. The country is being ripped to pieces by it. People do not have any faith in what they're hearing over that Twitter nut box tonight. And for good reason. Some of the anti-Semitism, some of the reasons of this crap right here, of 893% anti-Semitic attacks surging in the United States, is because of idiots and morons like you just heard running her trap. And it is stirring. This lady's got 1 million followers, folks. She's got over 1 million people. And you've got people that regurgitate her stuff every day. This and I'm going to tell you something. Tucker, the Hodge twins, Stu Peters, Matt Gaetz, all of them, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that have put it in the heads of people, Kirk Cameron, that have put it in the heads of people that Israel has no place in the plan of God. Well, it just, you multiply that and you add certain fuel to the fire of other things, and then you get this crazy at Brown that goes in and shoots up a classroom that's dedicated to Judaic studies and kills 2 people and injures 9. I read you the things that have just happened, folks. 3 days into Hanukkah, we've got 15 attacks. And tonight, again, I understand there's been a 5th suspect arrested of this group that was planning the New Year's Eve attack in Los Angeles. Now, Poland has reported there was a New Year's Eve attack planned for Christmas. Germany has said there was a New Year's Eve Christmas anti-Semitic attack afoot there. And I don't think this is going to be the end of it. But these social media platforms, folks, that are stirring this crap up, they are just as culpable in these killings as anything. And again, this AI, my dad, I made this comment tonight. I'm going to take your questions here in a minute because I'm done. It's good to see old Shannon Washam is in the house tonight, a future guest of the Mac Files and a longtime personal friend of Mac Santa, Chris McDonald. He is in the house on Facebook. It is good to see you up there, sir. Had a great time with him Saturday and his son, and we're going to get him on the show soon. But it's good to see you tonight, man. But I'm going to get your questions here in a minute. But I want you to listen to me carefully tonight, neighbor. We're in a dangerous world. I'm going to repeat something that Eric Karen said earlier tonight. Our focus is on everything else but the danger around us. I'm a Christmas person. I love Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year. But most people are concerned about what's under that Christmas tree instead of worried about the threat of terrorism in this nation. There's people that's more concerned about sporting events and football and movies and entertainment and what's going on with the latest soap opera and this and that and the other. What this thing with Candace and Tucker and Erica Kirk and all this distraction, all that was I just played to you was nothing but a distraction. That's a distraction. We're not switched on, as Eric said. And we're not. And we better get switched on. Because I think that what is afoot in this nation, ultimately listening to this individual run her mouth is going to wind up being on a scale of 1 to 10 about a 1,696 on the scale of importance compared to what's coming to this country. That's going to increase. That number right there, 893%, I'm going to be shocked. I will not be shocked if the incidents in 25 have even increased anymore. And I'm sure that figure will come out here at the first of the year. My question to you tonight on our poll is, do you believe a word of Candace Owens is saying? Put me down for a no. Zilch. But I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to take your questions. The one person that holds the key to all this is Erica Kirk. I respect Erica. I'm praying for her. She's a grieving widow. And for whatever reasons that she's chosen to stay silent, they're not helping. I know that it could possibly be because there is a trial afoot with the killer of her husband. And she may be concerned about saying anything that's going to jeopardize that trial. And in that respect, I get it. But to me, this was a betrayal tonight, what Candace Owens did, and I'll tell you why. This meeting was supposed to have been a private meeting between the two of them. What does Candace do? She goes out there and she reveals things that were said in secret, in privacy, in confidence, that Erica told her, and she goes out there and she spews this venom and spews this toxicity to the world. That is a form of slander, folks. That is a form of bearing false witness. That is a form of accusation. She's accusing, basically, Erica Kirk of lying about everything else. She's accusing Israel of flying Egyptian planes over it. I think everybody except the Easter Bunny has been accused of killing Charlie Kirk, but Candace Owens. But when you tell somebody in confidence, when you have a meeting with somebody and you sit down with them and you pour your heart out to them, and I have no doubt that Erica did this in good faith, trying to get to the bottom of why Candace is saying all these things, and instead of taking some lessons from the Character 101 book, and when somebody tells you something in secret, you don't go splattering it all over the internet. You don't go out telling everybody what you had and was told in that meeting. That's somebody that has absolutely zero character. No character whatsoever. It goes on more than you think. And you Bible students who are in my class, and you'll be here in another 10 hours because we're after midnight now. We've been talking about this for 4 weeks. We've been talking about this very thing about self-judging and some of the reasons people, how self-judgment looks and how unrighteous judgment looks. And when she went out and did what she did tonight, I was not shocked, but it just shows me a further confirmation of her character. That's why you can't believe a word she says. Now, if you want to believe her, you're welcome to, and I'll leave it at that. All right, I'm done for tonight. You got anything to say? Say it. You got time. You got about 15 minutes. I've never had a 100% question. We've had not too many votes. Well, we have had a few votes. And we never have 100 to 0. Somebody usually throws a wrench into that. But right now, we've got 100 to 0. Nobody believes a word she says. So, interesting poll. If you got something to say, you got a question, anything, our prayers for these folks down under, our prayers for these folks at Brown, Our prayers for the California couple. Our prayers for this family of this MIT professor that was shot dead in his house, evidently simply because he was Jewish. Our prayers tonight for the Jewish folks that were attacked on that New York City subway. Our prayers for the FBI to continue to find these potential terrorist attacks, folks. This thing in L.A. was going to be a very dangerous. It was people, multiple hundreds of people would have died New Year's Eve night if they not followed this. These people were building bombs in the Mojave Desert. And our prayers for our law enforcement that they get to the bottom of this stuff. Anyway, it's late, and I'm not going to keep you much longer. If you got a question, anything you want to say it. Carol, I've said it. You better be careful who you tell anything to these days, because there is no trust in anything. Good to see you, Shannon. God bless your friend. Elaine says, I think Miss Kirk should ignore Mrs. Farmer and let Mrs. Farmer run her crazy mouth. Mrs. Kirk owes absolutely nothing to Mrs. Farmer. Elaine, she don't, and I'll be honest with you, I don't. If it would have been me, I wouldn't have had this meeting. I would not have even given her the time of day. I mean, it was pretty evident what the pattern was, that Candace has done nothing but literally just throw lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after accusation. Tucker's done the same thing. Nick Fuentes has done the same thing. Gail, your point about anti-Semitism, not listening to him, I tell you what it does. When people start going down this road of anti-Semitism, other things start coming to the front. They start getting into the crazy, weird, ideological doctrine. I mentioned the Kirk Cameron situation. Kirk Cameron was probably one of the few conservative Christians in Hollywood. Now, he's not in acting anymore, I don't think. He's mainly turned his life over to the Lord fully, and he's in faith. But he started getting a hold of this anti-Semitic bug here about a month ago. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, he comes out just last week and starts telling everybody that hell isn't even eternal. It's a virus. It's a cancer. It is a cancer. It's what Bridget Gabrielle said. It is a cancer, and it spreads in people's minds. You start going down this road, you become a nut, and you become insanely deranged, just like what you just heard. I wouldn't have given her the time of day. I would not have even elevated her to even giving her the time for a meeting. You cannot meet with people like this. You cannot talk to people like this. You cannot deal with people like this. The best thing Erica could have done was to say what she had to say and stay away from this. And I know that I saw the interview with her and Faulkner, and she really laid into Candace, even though she didn't name her by name. But I think that there is still a lot of ambiguity, and there just needs to be some straight talk and saying, look, Charlie loved Israel. He may not have agreed with everything Israel did, but he was not anti-Semitic. He didn't hate the Jews. And this talk about the Jews killing him is false. And there's got to be some clarity. And she's just handing this ammo to these people that want to destroy her husband's legacy. And it's sad to me. And that's just my opinion. Elaine, that's a good point. It's very well said. Pat, I never trusted her either. I was telling people not to trust her back when people were pushing her for vice president. Anyway, any questions, anything in YouTube tonight? Let's see here. We've got Michelle Baker says, I can't believe how many people are buying into the lie. It is sad. This is why we need the Holy Spirit. Yes, Michelle, we do, absolutely. Anyway, Wayne says, everything in this world would have an expiration date, including us and our lives. We better be ready in season and out of season. Wayne, we do have an expiration date, and that's why these things, in light of eternity, are like a negative 10,000. And I want to say it again tonight. It shows an absolute dereliction of character, a dereliction of any kind of morality and decency for Candace Owens to be out there saying anything that was said to her in private. And that goes on all the time in the church. It goes on all the time among people that hate others and have no character, have no class, have no sense of decency. They are demonic. They are demonically inspired to do stuff like this. This is what's tearing families up. It is what's tearing churches up. It is what tearing businesses up. It is what tears marriages up. It is what tears families and brothers and sisters. It tears movements up. It tears ministries up. It tears fathers and sons and daughters and mothers. Folks, how many families have had conversations among them in private, and to have a family member go out and share something to the world that was really never supposed to be for the world to hear? And it destroyed that family, destroyed that life. Well, Candace may not have done that. She may not ultimately get any skin off of Erica like she may think, because I think most people are going to look at this and recognize the crazy in this. It ain't Erica Kirk. I would hope so. But it shows a lack of class and a lack of morality. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it in myself, actually. Rainbow, you ask, why are they doing this? I don't know what you're saying. Why? Who's doing what? Why is the world evil? Let me give you a simple MacFall Santa Claus answer tonight. The devil. The devil. The devil. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. It's demonic. It's demonic. It's demonic. All right. Good to see Pat Isaacs in the house tonight. Good to see Elaine. Gail, good to see you. Shannon Walsham again. Zephaniah's up with us. Tim Neal, good to see you. Jenny Castellanova, good to see you. All right, folks, it's time for me to say goodnight. I've gave you 2 shows now. Gave you a little news wrap up tonight. Gave you a great interview with Eric. I'm tired. I'm going to get to bed so I can get up and do a Bible study in the morning at 10 o'clock on the Faith Network. And tomorrow's Wednesday. It is Faith Night. Our midweek Wednesday prayer service tomorrow night. We don't talk about the news. It's all about preaching, teaching, singing, praying for you. So be with us tomorrow night on our Faith Network. And we're going to talk about the resurrection and the completion of our salvation, the glorification of the saints, part 2. You don't want to miss this tomorrow night. And then next Wednesday night, a week from tomorrow night, is Christmas Eve. And we are going to have a special Christmas Eve communion service. And we want you to join us. We'll be praying for the sick, having communion, have a short little devotion, and just a time of fellowship with you to spend our time with our MacFalls Faith family on Christmas Eve next Wednesday night. And we'll have a couple of shows before then, next week. And then we'll take a break for Christmas and then be back at it the week after. We leave for Israel January the 6th. So I'm trying to get as many shows in as I can, because I'm going to be away from the camera for a week or so. And even though we'll try to come to you from Jerusalem if we can get the computer fired up. We won't have the fancy setup like we do here, but we'll have a show. It'll just be sort of the basics. You'll just hear me running my mouth. Should I wear the Santa hat to Jerusalem? I don't know if that'll go over. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the cowboy hat. Maybe if I do this. Let me put it like this. Maybe if I do this and put a cowboy hat on with the Santa hat, maybe that'll work good. How about that? Do you think that'll work? Maybe that'll work good. I'm looking forward to that trip. I really am. I'm excited to walk the land of the Bible and connect with the land of Christ. I really am. And I'm excited. Thank you all that have helped us go with your donations. I really mean that. I wouldn't have been able to go without you. And I thank you all for the help this year. And we love you. And we will see you back here in the morning on the Bible study, and then tomorrow night with Faith. Back here Thursday night, James Akers, Magdalene Rose with me Thursday night. Maybe Leslie Milway if she's doing better. She's been in the hospital this week. And we'll wrap it up for a week. And Friday night, we may have a little special of Christmas music and so forth. You know, I've not played any Christmas music this whole week. And it is Tuesday. It is Hanukkah. And I know that some of you like Christmas music. I know I do. And we've got a CD, or we've got a project you can find at McDonald-Music called Merry McChristmas. And I'm going to go out with a song tonight, if you don't mind. and a Christmas song. If you've enjoyed the show, put some fire in that house. We're grateful for you. And it is the most wonderful time of the year. And if you believe that, I want you to put a Christmas tree or say amen to that or whatever, if I can find the song now. I swear. I can't find my own music. That's why I should not take my glasses off because I can't see. Hang on just a second. Let me see if I can find it with my glasses on. It may not be on that project. It may be on this December time. And it is on this December time. This from this album. Here we go. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you back here in the morning and also tomorrow night. Good night.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings with friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. For hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the Happy holidays, happy holidays, may the merry bells keep ringing, happy holiday to you. It's the holiday season, and Santa Claus is coming round. The Christmas snow is white on the ground. When Santa gets into town, he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on a Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock he'll be coming down the chimney down. He'll have a big fat pack upon his back, and lots of goodies for you and for me. So leave a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick hanging on a Christmas tree. It's the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock, and don't forget to hang up your sock, 'cause just exactly at 12 o'clock he'll be coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney, coming down the chimney down. Happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays, happy holidays. May the merry bells keep ringing. Happy holiday to you. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses and blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things. Then I don't feel so bad. Girls in white dresses and blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things. Then I don't feel